going to start with the history lesson number 4, the Mughal Empire. This is the timeline. The Mughal established a huge empire. They were good administrators and the brave warriors. Many sources of the medieval history proves that the royal Mughal emperors were interested in keeping the records of their achievements. Autobiographies are examples of such efforts. The first 6 Mughals are called the Great Mughals. We will start with Babur. Babur was the first Mughal emperor. He was born in Fargana in Central Asia. At the age of 12, he became the ruler of Fargana. He conquered Kabul and Samarkand. At the same time, Lodhis were ruling in Delhi. People were not satisfied with them. They sent message to Babur. Wealth and richness of India attracted him and he came and defeated Lodhis. The first battle of Panipat in 1526, Babur faced Ibrahim Lodi. Lodi has a huge army, but Babur has a good army which was too small. Without much difficulties, Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi. He successfully conquered Delhi and then Agra. Battle of Khanwa in 1527, Babur fought this battle with Rana Sanga of Mewar. Babur easily defeated him. In the short period of 4 years, Babur conquered a number of territories from Himalayas to Gwalior and from Indus to Bihar. He died in 1530. Babur was a learned man who could speak 3 languages, Persian, Turkish and Arabic. Baburnama gave a lot of information about his personality and his kingdom. He ruled. Next is Humayun. Babur had 3 sons. Humayun was the eldest son of the Babur. After his death, he succeeded in 1530. The name Humayun means lucky, but in reality, his life was full of problems. As a ruler, he faced a lot of disturbance in his life. His brothers did not support him. Humayun's life can be divided into 3 phases. The first phase, this was the time of struggle and stress. He faced a tough struggle against Sher Shah Suri of Bihar and Bahadur Shah of Gujarat. In 1532, he and Sher Shah fought a battle and he won and captured the fort. In 1534, he captured Gujarat and Malwa after defeating Bahadur Shah. Sher Shah again attacked Humayun and defeated him. In the second phase, Sher Shah Suri captured Humayun's empire and drove him out. He became refugee and escaped to Persia. He spent next 15 years in exile. In the third phase, Humayun made Kabul his base and also made preparations to recover the lost territories in India. Sher Shah had died and his successors were weak. Finally, Humayun was successful and got back the throne of Delhi. He fell down from the stairs of his library and died in 1556. Sher Shah Suri was the most famous ruler of the Sur dynasty. His real name was Farid Khan. He was given the title of Sher after he killed a tiger. He was an ambitious ruler, but he did not survive for long. His achievements were he ruled Delhi for only 5 years. He defeated Humayun in 2 battles. He built a strong kingdom. He extended his empire from Jhelum to Brahmaputra and Himalayas to Narmada. He is known for his achievements, excellent administrative skills. He had a large army. He continued the practice of branding the horses. His welfare measures are, he gave specific order that anyone in the need of food should be fed at the king's kitchen. He constructed an excellent network of roads. Grand Trunk Road, that is GT Road, was one of the such highway constructed by him. Trade and commerce flourished during his period. He introduced a new coin called Rupaya. Purana Kila in Delhi and the tomb of Sher Shah in Bihar are examples of architect of the Sous dynasty. Next, Akbar. Akbar's full name was Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. He was born in Amarkot. He was the son of Humayun. After his father's death at the age of 13, Akbar was made king. He was the greatest ruler of Mughal dynasty and brought glory to the Mughal Empire. He and is therefore known as Akbar the Great. Behram Khan was his guardian. He defeated Hemu in the Second Battle of Panipat in 1560. He was a great emperor. Even after defeating the Rajput kings, he did not insult them. He treated them with dignity and respect. He allowed the Rajput rulers to rule their territories. These rulers helped Akbar. He made matrimonial relations with Rajput. Many Rajputs were given high posts in his administration. Wisdom does not come with education alone. This stands true in Akbar's case, who followed a wise and a tolerant religious policies. He celebrated all the festivals in his palace like Deepavali, Raksha Bandhan, Eid, etc. He did religious decisions in Ibadat Khana, which was a hall of worship. He abolished the pilgrimage taxes jizya. He allowed building temples and translated Ramayana and Mahabharata in the Persian language. Akbar introduced a new religion, that was Deen-e-Ilahi. The unique features of this religious path was that there was no priest, no place of worship, and no ritual. This religion did not become popular. In October 1605, Akbar fell seriously ill and died at the age of 63. Next is Jahangir. Jahangir, Prince Salim. He was the eldest son of Akbar. Jahangir means the ruler of the world. He is known in history for justice to one and all. Jahangir tried to consolidate the empire inherited. He successfully crushed the rebellions. Credit goes to Jahangir, who ended the long-standing conflict between Mewar and the Mughals. He defeated the ruler of Rana Amar Singh but allowed him to exercise his control over the territories. In 1611, Emperor Jahangir married Mehrunnisa. He gave her the title Nur Jahan, which means the light of the world. She was extremely intelligent, talented, and beautiful. Lady Jahangir took her advice on all important issues. Once, when he fell ill, Nur Jahan successfully managed the affairs of the empire. During Jahangir's time period, several English traders came to India. They wanted to get trade concessions from the emperor. Two ambassadors, Captain William Hawkins and Sir Thomas Rye from English East India Company, were also sent to Jahangir's court. Jahangir granted permission to English traders to set up a trading port at Surat. Next is Shah Jahan. After Jahangir's death, Prince Khurram sat on the throne in 1627 and he got the title of Shah Jahan, which means the ruler of the world. Shah Jahan's reign was full of problems. Shah Jahan invaded the Deccan. After gaining victory in the Deccan, Shah Jahan became ambitious. He sent his army to Central Asia. Portuguese has established themselves in Bengal and enjoyed an independent position. Portuguese became troublesome and stopped paying custom duties. Shah Jahan was a strong, tough, and a capable ruler who ruled as a father over his family. His administration and military campaign were well planned. Shah Jahan showed interest in architecture. He built Taj Mahal at Agra, a new city called Shahjahanabad. Shah Jahan fell ill. He died in 1657. He had 4 sons. Aurangzeb extended the throne after defeating his 3 brothers. Aurangzeb, the next was given the title Alamgir, mean conqueror of the world. Aurangzeb was given the title of Alamgir, meaning conqueror of the world. He was the last Mughal king. He ruled for 49 years. He extended his kingdom and reached the largest size, covered nearly the whole country. He was orthodox, God-fearing Muslim. He led very simple life. People called him Zinda Peer. He never wore costly clothes. In North India, he increased the land taxes. He was friendly with Rajputs. He spent the last 24 years in Deccan. He successfully extended Bijapur and Golconda. He was unable to subdue Shivaji due to his long absence from the north. His territory was finished. He reintroduced Jizya tax that made him unpopular. Many books were written during his time period. His successors were weak, corrupt, and inefficient. His administration was excellent. Emperor had 2 duties. Emperor was the head of the state. Emperor promoted the policies and programs which were helpful in economic and cultural progress of their subject. He introduced many important officials. The empire was divided into provinces called Subas and were looked by Subedars. Subas were further divided into districts, parganas, and villages. Kotwal was in charge of the town administration. Mughal Empire consisted of horses, foot, and elephants in his army. Mir Bakshi was in charge of the army. He was responsible for the soldiers, their dresses, and branding the animals. The word Mansab means the position. He started Mansabdari system. A person who holds the Mansab is called Mansabdar. Akbar organized his nobility and the army into the Mansabdari system. This system was not hereditary. There were 2 ranks, Jat and Savar. The higher the Jat, the larger the salary. The Savar of the number of the horses maintained by the Mansabdar. Next, economic and social condition in the Mughal period. The Mughal court was headed by the empire. The most nobles sat near the empire. There were 2 halls for the audience, Diwan-e-Khas and Diwan-e-Aam. Diwan-e-Khas, this was the hall for the private audience, and this was the hall for the Diwan-e-Aam, this was the hall for the public audience. Agriculture was the primary occupation in those times. The land was the most important source of revenue. The productivity of the land, the peasants had to pay to 1/3 of the total produce as revenue. This later increased to half. The poor Landless peasants started working on the land owned by the zamindars. They were paid in the cash. Thanks.